All right, welcome to our afternoon group. You all know who I am. I'm John Shinholser, president of the McShin Foundation. Every day we've been doing a special group trying to bring new knowledge as it evolves during this national epidemic and crisis of ours. As everybody knows, we're going through the coronavirus epidemic. A lot of things have changed. We're seeing changes in our country. Nobody alive has witnessed, well, I shouldn't say that, nobody in this room was alive. Because I think we're going back to the crisis we had in World War II, in the way we had a community impact nationwide, not only economic, but a lifestyle change. Every day our lifestyles are changing. Every day new news comes out on what we should and shouldn't be doing, what we can and can't be doing. And quite frankly, it changes by the hour. And we understand, it's a big deal now to engage in our civic responsibility to do what's known as social distancing, right? We've all had our classes on social distancing here at McShin. No hugging, no touching. We're doing the foot tap. Keep it simple, okay? We keep spaces between us. We don't let but so many people in the building at a time to attend a life-saving, what I think a life-saving group is. And I think what a lot of people may not understand that recovery requires social connectedness. However, social connectedness, we have to do social distancing, okay? Because new people, like today, we picked up a new person, brought them in here. We had a new person come in yesterday. Most of y'all living in our sober houses, our recovery houses. How many of y'all in the recovery houses? I mean, that's our home. Our recovery house is our home. And we are pretty much a healthcare center. Okay? We're not a movie theater. We're not a restaurant. We're not a place where people gather for social. Although I will say, if you use McShin for a social gathering, we need to ask you to stop that. However, we need social connectedness for our recovery. Because if we're not here, we're going to be out there using. And if we're using, we're certain going to be ending up in a jail, an institution, or dying. And we all know all too well, we've been a population that really has been in crisis since we got into active addiction. So a lot of us have been living a crisis for years, but now we have an additional crisis we have to deal with. The last couple days we have discussed, how it's impacting us. We did a nice video on Monday, Tuesday, this is now Wednesday. So now we've had several days to discuss these topics. But most important, how we're feeling. Because I know daggone good and well, we still have folks relapsing. Now more than ever before, we have to be more vigilant on not to relapse. Because we already had a bad ripple effect when we used. Now we got an extra bad ripple effect, okay? So now we really need to demonstrate to the nation that we can comply with our civic duty even as newcomers. And that's real important. But at the same time, we cannot shut down either, because we're a collection point for people who are in a worse situation, not only with their substance use disorders, but they're in a worse situation to contract or give the coronavirus. So keeping us safe in recovery, early recovery, in these groups is very important. And most newcomers they don't have internet, they don't have a G10 or whatever type of phone. They don't have a computer. They can't do the social media connection that the rest of the country can probably do. And we're even a more desperate population, because most of us didn't have a job in the first place when they get here. We rely on social services of some kind or another. So what I thought I'd do is, as a couple days are going by, what can we do? What message can we send other people in early recovery? I want to remember, we're shooting this video for folks struggling in early recovery. I'm not really interested in making a video for the rest of the world to criticize us and be political police on what we should and shouldn't be doing. But we know daggone and well what we're doing, what we need to be doing, what we should be doing when it comes to recovery, a fatal, incurable, progressive illness. We know we're good stewards of civic suggestions and engagement and involvement. So I think we got a lot of game here, and I'm very proud of that. But I love the groups we've had the last couple of days. I've loved listening to y'all and your feedback and your thoughts and what's in your mind. It has inspired me to do even more. Because I need to give you a heads up. I know we live in a day at a time, but we're going to have months of some, there's going to be a real serious ripple effect, economically, nationally speaking. We don't know how this is going to end because there's nobody around that can really tell us how this is going to end or the direction it's going to go. But I know one thing, we're probably better equipped to deal with the regular people out there. We probably know what a day at a time really is all about more than a lot of people, to live it an hour at a time. I don't think anybody knows better than us how to live a day at a time, an hour at a time. We know all about that recovery square and how important it is. We might actually be one population that can show the rest of the world as they navigate this crisis what it's like to live a day at a time. So there may be a silver lining in there for us. We might be more than just hope dealers for each other. We could be hope dealers for the country. Yes, sir. What do you mean? I got to go weeks without money. Well, hell, we do that all the time. What do you mean I got to eat shit? Oh, hell, we're used to eating shit, man. So, but I noticed as we get the new people in, you know how tempting it is to hug them and welcome them and make them feel loved, warmed, and welcome, but how we got to watch that. What could a new person possibly be thinking? They show up here. You're coming from crisis, threat of jail, institutions, and death. How many of y'all would intervene as drug users? See, every time we use drugs like that, we're at risk of death. So what are we thinking? Who's got some thoughts?
My thought is of gratitude on the fact that I am in recovery and that I am learning how to live life on life's terms, that I have a spiritual connection. And my main thought is that there's a lot of people that's going to be taking their first one because of trauma, because not being able to go to work and pay their bills and things being shut down and all this stress.
So we're going to have a wave of new addicts coming
That's
here
right.
in about 6 months to a year. So there'll be an uptick in substance use disorders.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
There'll be a run on the ABC sword before it's over with.
And what's really like the real big hit for me is the fact that stigma about the disease of addiction, it doesn't just attack just drugs and narcotics. You're talking about people, man, that's got financial addictions and gambling addictions and codependency and all these other things, man, that now they're going to realize that, oh, man, I need help. I need to learn how to deal with life on life's terms.
So there's going to be a surge in other mental illnesses and co-occurring illnesses
Yes,
in
sir.
this nation. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of reports on that. We will have an uptick. But let me ask you a question. How many of y'all, if you're not here, if you relapse because you're not in a herd, so to speak, how many of y'all think you would last long without relapsing? I think most of y'all would probably relapse within a few hours to a couple days. That sound about right? I mean, even those that think you're strong, you might make it a week, and then you're right back where you started from if you live. That's why it's so vital that as we do this national distancing, social distancing, there's some areas it's important to maintain social distancing, but yet you still have to maintain social connection. So how do you socially connect, which is vital for us as people in recovery? That's one of the main ingredients to early recovery is socially connecting to peer facilitators, frontline peer support specialists. I mean, you got to have them. There's no way not to do them unless everybody starts suiting up. But we're the last agency in America that's going to be in line to get a suit of any kind. I still haven't been able to put my hands on the first test or test kit. I can't even get a mask up in here. We're so far down on the pole. So we're staying clean, we're saving lives. Anybody got any additional fears you want to talk about? This is your group. It's your time to share that shit. Chip, he's always got something to say. Hey, you need your grass cut? Call me, Chip.
I mean, I'm Chip. I'm an addict. I guess my fear is, as addicts, we are all we all tend to take any excuse we can get and
To
run with
use.
it. And, you know, I said something along these lines yesterday, but we all have a disease that has a certain death sentence rather than one that is
10% of our population, if you're an opiate addict, 10% of us will probably die within 5 years if you don't get recovery.
I mean,
High
and
death rate.
we're dealing with a disease here that has, you know, a percentage point death
Well,
rate.
I don't want to get into that.
Yeah,
I know, but
regardless, but you know, we know if we continue to use it, will lead to death.
that's
And,
true.
You know, I fear that I've seen these Facebook groups and all these online groups pop up over the past few days. I've seen a lot of these people that have you know, and I'm not saying there's not a time and a place for it, but have removed themselves from the recovery community, and all of a sudden they've just given up 5 years clean and relapsed. And you know, I fear for the people that will use this as a chance to get away or run off with their new girlfriend or whatever, and you know, hide away.
Escape.
Yeah, because you know, like
They
say,
didn't think about 24 hours down the road,
right.
the impact.
I mean, like they say, the value of one addict helping another is unparalleled, and without this face-to-face, peer-to-peer support from each other, I don't know what's going to happen.
See, that's the newcomer, the new people, the first day in recovery. That's why it's so important and vital. You know, the old timers been around. They, you know, a lot of people go to meetings to be seen, to be social. That's the ones you got to step back, okay? But there's still that entry level of early recovery. And I know daggone good and well kind of what you're talking about, because there's going to be a lot of relapse. There's going to be uptick. You know, well, some good news might be drug dealers might have a hard time, you know. It'll be easier to spot out there anyway with so few people out on the corner or wherever you get your drugs from nowadays. So might be a little silver lining in there somewhere. What else we got? Jonathan, he likes to talk.
Jonathan, I'm an addict. I want to go a little bit off of what Chip was saying. You know, the people that are out there that have 10, 15 years of recovery are still just as, you know, eligible for relapse.
They're as close to the next relapse as the next guy.
For the first person, for the day of the first person, you know, and this is great that we can still hold meetings here as a group, as peers, and not have to fear about what we're going to do next, because for the newcomer, that might be, you know, just as it is for the person with 10 years, that might be just with all this chaos going on, that can be that chance of relapse.
I wonder how many
like
people
that.
are sitting at home thinking about getting recovery, but they're scared to go get it.
For myself, as an addict, I don't know about you guys, but we don't spend a lot of time at home watching TV. We're out getting fucked up.
Right.
So for me, my day was Friday the 13th when things hit the fan, and I wasn't like if I had the opportunity to like live life and see everybody's fear, I would have freaked out. I probably would have like overdosed or something. So the fact that this is in place and I came in with no fear for the outside, I was more fearing like my addiction. So I like that this is happening. That's why I'm part of it, because the fear for me is not the virus. To me, the fear is that if I leave here, I'm not gonna make it home.
And you're new. You're brand new here.
I'm brand new. Friday the 13th was my first day, and
When?
I've been able to be happy and clean and awesome. And the virus to me, I'm like, what virus? Who cares? Because you know what? My virus is inside of me already. And
Right. But this is more evidence how important it is.
Absolutely.
When you chose recovery, the
Yeah.
peer support specialists were here for you.
An addict is
The
more
door
likely
was
to-
open.
an addict is more likely to be on social media. So this is cool that we are here still reaching out, because at any given moment when somebody's, you know, smoking or whatever their drug of choice is, we can be online and be like, yo, we're still here.
Right.
You know, and they could be like, all right, and they'll come to us. which
How many
is cool.
of y'all want to be good citizens and practice good civic responsibility with our national epidemic? Of course we do. Absolutely. I've never met a newcomer yet that didn't want to be a good citizen, to have a good job, take care of themselves, be a good parent, be a good child, be a good whatever. We innately want to be good people. And when an addict or somebody with substance use disorders makes that decision, This is the day I think I'm going to ask for help. Man, help better be there. And for people watching, this is what the help looks like. You got peer support specialists, authentic peer support specialists, unrestricted authentic peer support specialists, prepared to be that receiving point. And we're not going to abandon you. Now, if they come in here and haul us away, put locks on our doors, at least I can say I did all I can. But I don't really see that day coming. But when we find recovery, we got to find responsibility. And our message needs to be responsible. You know, we can't have an arrogant, egotistical, screw you as the world attitude. We got to say, look, man, we're all in this together. But I said earlier, we have a chance to show the rest of the world what living a day at a time can really look like. We actually might be able to save some lives of earth people, regular people. So, this could be one of our better hours in the community, believe it or not. I always teach, positive ripple effect, be the hope dealer, be the hope shot you want the people to see. So we're uniquely qualified to actually be of greater service and use. What else we thinking? Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, someone touched on it earlier, acceptance. So for a while, it was just tough for me to accept where I was and what I was going through. And also, quit beating yourself up. There's nothing you can do about the past. You just got to take one day at a time. And if you do the right thing, things should work out, So.
See, this is good old newcomer principle, thinking here, We have a major disruption in our daily principles that we need to be learning as newcomers. And now this virus comes along and it disrupts, just like everybody else, everything else, it disrupts us too. But I think we're better equipped to deal with disruption, to be honest with you. We are expert crisis creators and expert crisis getter out of us. You know what I mean? We have a lot of experience.
I feel sorry for the young children and, the older people where they can't breathe and,
When people get symptomatic with the virus and they're at risk of death, that's terrible, man. I don't want no old folks to get it.
But
I don't want to get it.
I hope the whole United States don't even get it.
Right.
I hope the Lord would take care of all of
10,000 got
this.
it already, So what else we thinking? You're pretty new, right? How you feel? This is your first day back, right?
Yeah.
This is your first day. You finally made the decision. I'm going to recovery. You look like shit, I might add. But we're glad you're here, man. You're smiling. Aren't you glad we were here?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
You want to say a few words for... Thank you for having me. I promise not to go. I'm going to do everything y'all suggest.
Everything.
I'm going to get it this time.
This time it's gonna.
You were here for a
Stick.
minute and went back out, right?
I was here for like a week.
Yeah, a week. The whole week you were here, you were bitching and complaining, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This church.
And then you went back out for how long? Like 2, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? This is for the other newcomers who are going to watch this.
I mean, I tried rehab, this boxing. I went to jail for a little bit.
How was jail?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Riverside's awesome.
Well, they don't get to sit around and do this, do they?
Yeah. I don't know. So I think it'll stick.
You're glad you're here. This is better than anywhere else you've recently been, right?
Better than Midlow.
And you're more open-minded now than ever before.
Just completely.
Completely open-minded.
Just open-minded.
All right. Well, you're going to get a wealth of information. Pay attention. You too can get this. What's your name?
Nino.
What did I tell you about the name badges, man? Put them where I can read them, man. I can't read blank. Cornelius!
Yeah, but I go by Nino. And for me today, I could say that a sober mind, I still am an addict, but I'm in recovery, which makes me different from the addict on the street, I'm clear-minded, so I can say, I can see my faults. I could see that I don't want that no more. And, I'm just happy about that. I'm 6 months today, and I'm going to say it all day. I'm
6 months?
today.
That's
Yeah.
worth a hand. Good job.
That's a big accomplishment, but if,
But now, you were 4 months, 5 months in jail, or
yeah,
and you got released from jail to here,
yeah,
like only a couple weeks ago, or
last Thursday.
last Thursday?
The 12th.
Yeah. I mean, the clean time's great. The point I'm trying to make is we were here for you. We didn't fear bringing somebody in here. This is what we do. We're still that vital healthcare, peer level recovery support service provider. So, and a lot of other folks going to come here this week, next week, and the week after, coming from a jail or prison program. This is going to be their home. So, just want to be mindful of all that. We're still here. We're still doing what we do. We're not shutting down. We don't shut down the reentry or the transition. You know what I mean? We're open for that.
The Newcomer, that's motivating too. Like for myself, I'm new, and seeing you come in makes me want to fight more.
She beat up more than you were.
Yeah.
So you already feel like an old timer. Yeah. And you're going to be the hope shot a week from now for the new person coming a week from now. Remember that,
John, I just want to say that I appreciate the McShin Foundation being available to stay open for everybody, for the newcomers that are getting ready to come in. I've been here since the 26th of February, and thanks to McShin, I'm living my greatest life right now, because without McShin, I would probably have already been back
And you
out
came
there.
from jail
I came
to
from a
McShin.
jail.
Aren't you glad we stayed open?
And I'm glad that
You
you
damn
guys,
right, man.
and John made it a point to actually come and interview me at the jail because I couldn't get out, and I appreciate you allowing me the
I was
opportunity to
just
come here.
testing for bullshit, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm here.
Incidentally, you passed. You're a big bullshitter. We got that straight,
look,
man.
I'm here, and I'm gaining more tools for my recovery thanks to the McShin program, and I think this is one of the greatest places in the world.
Well, don't choke.
I'm not. I'm
Remember
here.
that.
I'm doing it.
Because the disease going to
You
tell
can-
you, get high.
From one addict to the next addict that's out there on the street or whatever,
Right.
you can get it if you want it.
Yeah.
And that is for sure. They say change is uncomfortable. Well, McShin made me uncomfortable and gave me the change that I need for my recovery. And I appreciate you, allowing me to come in here and make that change.
How we doing? What you got, wrench monkey?
The fear of walking in the front door and the fear of accepting it is way harder than the fear of coronavirus. It's the first step for a newcomer. It's tremendously harder than any disease out there that can come down the street. The disease it's hard.
See, people forget it's such a mental illness when a person with substance use disorder is at their most systematic state, the most acute state.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to comprehend.
I don't care what age you are, or it's hard, it's scary, and then, but once you get here and then you see, all these people, and everybody's, it's the best group of people you can be around, and it's easier, and then just like the coronavirus coming, it's easier to deal with because you're still around all your peers. It's still easier for us to accept.
There you go. We're in this together.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
I have experienced 2 times losing everything because of a substance. And the way this virus seems to is starting to appear, that it's starting to get into people's livelihoods and they're starting to feel like they're losing grip of their lives and possibly losing everything. And so this recovery process has taught me how to live, even though I've lost everything, to find a new way to live. And that's because of a spiritual connection.
It's funny you should mention that, because I'm sitting there thinking, I too have lost everything a couple times in my life. One time in recovery, or almost everything in recovery one time. But I'm sitting there thinking, I'm watching me and my wife's life savings slip away in our retirement. But I'm thinking, hell, I've been through worse times than this, so it won't quite so bad. I did want to point out something that we build self-esteem here, value here. After a while, you start to feel really good about yourself. And how long you been here, Laura?
I've been here for about 3 months.
3 months. Laura used to come in every day for 3 months, you know, all powdered up, a little makeup, make herself feel good. She felt so good about herself. Today was the first day she came in here without makeup on. Now, don't she look good with no makeup? Yeah, it was a big hit, man. And I picked up on her right away. Right away. I said, what's wrong with you? Something's wrong. She came back and told me, I didn't have no makeup on. So, well, that makes it right then. What? I know it's weird, man. I love you too.
You gotta be comfortable in your own skin, though.
Exactly. Well, she's there now. I mean, that's the message there, man. I feel good. Like Scotty ain't having a good day. You feeling better yet? Share that shit.
We talk about fear. I came to find out my biggest fear is, or the realization is, addiction can come from any aspect. Can come out of nowhere. Yes. And even though the situation may not be what I think it was, or what anybody else might think it was, it still came. Or not even addiction, it's just the part of the addiction coming after you. I did realize today that I got to keep my head on a swivel. I got to pay attention extra to little things that can cause me to do anything. Relapse, go off deep end, something that can make me relapse. But I would say before, if it wasn't for the guys I've been around, guys I talked to, a couple guys that are in my house, and a couple staff members. I may not like what I heard, but I understood it. And it just made me realize I got to pay a lot more attention to what I got to do to recover. Because if I don't, the stupid thing's going to happen. Stupid stuff will happen. And before you go get off the deep end and go take that next shot or next drink, whatever, I got to grab my partner here and say, come here.
Social distancing, social distancing. All right. And then, go ahead, Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan. I'm an addict. Touching base on how the virus can affect relapse and recovery and stuff like that. And I had to go to the hospital 2 days ago. And I remember when I was leaving the hospital because I couldn't be there with my son, I told my dad, I'm not going back to McShin. Take me home. I need to be there for my family. Like I couldn't do anything about this virus. And y'all could have easily turned around and be like, well, you were in the hospital. You can't come back here. And if it weren't for people at this organization, I would have went home. And I would have freaked out because I freak out about viruses and I always think I'm sick. And I probably would have
using right now.
I'd be using right now.
And then your drug of choice is opiates.
Yes, sir.
So you could very well be dead.
21 days clean today, and I would have thrown that all away over
all
a
right.
virus.
21 days. Now, I want to touch on something, though. I need y'all to hear this, especially you rising leaders and stars. You know, you got a staff around you, correct? We got 31 staff here at McShin. Most of us have families, children. You know, we're being hit with the crisis at the staff level. You know, we now have staff that have to stay home and homeschool. That puts extra pressure on the rest of the staff. That means your disease, when it flares up, can impact our staff. We need your cooperation to do your best recovery, your best attitude. Seriously, try not to be so selfish and self-centered every hour of every day, because we need your help. Because we're feeling the pinch at our level. We're getting hit from the other side with the national crisis. And, you know, 2 weeks ago, our revenue stream fell off the face of the earth. So now we're getting into a danger revenue stream flow. So, you know, we're suffering multiple crises up here. You got your Newcomer crisis. And our staff, we're in the middle. And I can't do much about the crisis from the outside coming down. But I can ask you guys, let's be a little more mindful of our spiritual principles, of our early recovery teachings how important it is to pay attention to your house leaders, the rules, the protocols. Now more than ever before, you need to rise quickly into the recovery zone. You know what I'm saying? This is a case where the old timers are going to need the newcomers as much as the newcomers are going to need the old timers more than ever before. Remember that, you know. So we got a chance to all shine and have a positive ripple effect through this time we're going through. Anything else? What else we thinking? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Joyce Compton. I'm a heroin addict. I've been off of it. It'd be 6 months in April.
Well,
I don't
that's
want to
good.
never see that stuff. It was harming my body. My family was, you know, upset because I was on that stuff. It was tearing my mind up and my whole family. My family didn't want nothing to do with me. I can't see my grandson because my daughter think I'm still on, you know, the drug. But I want to get my life straight. I want to be a better person than I used to be.
Well, that's good. That's progress. That's what we do. We progress here. Anybody else? Go around. Yes, sir, Damien. Well, I thought we had hats on the building policy, man. I forgot all about that. You can't hold the mic. You just got busted, man.
He grabbed it.
You don't, just because they grab it, you don't give it to them. You're the gatekeeper. What is wrong with you? Where's your wallet?
I thought one wouldn't hurt.
Nah, one wouldn't hurt.
Hey, I'm Damien, and I'm
Speak into the
in
mic.
recovery. Well, as it pertains to the COVID-19, it's just if we take educate, self-awareness, research also, take prophylactic measures, hand washing, hand sanitizer, simple stuff when you go to the bathroom. Use a paper towel after you wash your hands to turn the knob, open the door, throw it in the trash. So you won't have the opportunity to spread the disease if you have it or come in contact with it. And then as far as the youth, educate the youth so they will know cough into your sleeve and so forth and so on. Then as far as outreach, we need to like here, we're good, but getting out to the community, to the people that can't be in here, the elderly, the sick, the people that's bedridden, that doesn't have access like we have access. The guys on the corner in front of the stores that's not thinking about being in front of a television or don't have a cell phone. Like civic duty, like service, like we say in our basic text, community service, helping others. I think that will try to curtail or slow down the pandemic or epidemic or whatever they want to call it now. But I think that will help a lot. That's all I have.
Thanks for sharing. Miles, what you got, buddy?
Not much. I'm just grateful to be here.
Grateful to be here.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, I'd be homeless.
Be home?
And probably dead.
Probably dead.
Yep.
Glad to hear it. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Y'all hear the conversation. We want all those that can't get the inside look of what a basically newcomer group looks like. People still struggling with the obsession to use, prevent ourselves from using. But anything you want anybody to know as you're going through this process, anything you're learning that might be helpful to other new people struggling, with either trying to get clean, stay clean.
I would like to say I'm a proud person, and I always looked at this as a weakness. And it's not staying out there, being alone, being proud, being like, I could do this on my own. That's the weakness. If you're sitting there and you're looking at us like with pity or with weakness or you're the weak one. So come here and be strong with us because that's the real strength.
That's for
Just trust
somebody
me.
that's continuing to use that don't want to get help.
That's it. Just even I'll do it a week or whatever. That week, the whole time you're thinking, if I do it a week, that's my celebration. Then next week I could take one hit. That's the weakness. Being here is being strong, and I had to learn that here because I almost walked out like 10 times the first day.
Right. Well, we're glad you stayed, man. Jonathan, an addict. You're going to catch hell for that one day.
I'm Jonathan. I'm a grateful recovering addict.
Oh.
I know at the end of my active addiction, I didn't think I could quit. I just thought I was going to die an addict. And I never done treatment before. I honestly didn't know what treatment was when I got here. I was like, where's the tennis courts? Where's the pools? And you hear all these corny phrases, live just for today, let go of your will, give God's will, or your higher power will. And if you actually apply that to your life, recovery is possible. You know, when you start going through the withdrawals for any opiate addicts, you think it's never going to end. But when that day you wake up and you're not sick anymore, it is the most spiritual awakening, best feeling you will ever feel in the world. And you know you don't have to use again. And I know I don't have to use today and maybe tomorrow, but tomorrow will be, I won't use again for that day. And that's how you get clean. And,
Good hit.
I was just gonna say, I feel like I'm like a good talker. Like I feel like I have the gift of gab, but when it comes to talking about my emotions or talking about how I feel, I'm always give you a straight answer. I'm good. Being a program like this lets you talk about how you're feeling and lets you get your emotions out there and makes it known that you're not alone, that other people are dealing with the same things you're dealing with, maybe on a different basis, whatever. But it's good to know you're not alone and that there's other people here that can kind of share your story together, you know? So it just helps a lot with that. And like I said, if you're struggling out there, it's get some help. It's tough to take that step, but once you do, life will get better. Things will get better one day at a time, but it gets better, you know? So that's all I got.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think if somebody's out in the community committing a crime, addiction related, not a terrible crime per se, but just the typical crap we do, you think they're going to shut down the jail and not arrest you? No, you're going to still get locked up, go to jail. So if you're going to take that risk and get locked up to go to jail, take the risk, I say, and come here and get recovery. Y'all agree with that? I mean, that's a much better risk to me. And we're prepared, just like the police are prepared to take the risk and arrest you, they could perhaps come in contact with the virus. We're prepared to take that same risk. So we're first responders, prepared to take the risk to help people go from a worse situation to a better situation. We call that recovery, okay? So that's our duty here, we feel. Is that a good duty? Good thinking? Now here's the difference. Police are funded by the taxpayers. Their paycheck ain't going to be affected. We're funded by generous contributions, small bed fees, and donations. We're taking the hit. You hear me? But we're still prepared to do our duty with or without that level of security that other agencies get. Now I would think that would be worth an applaud right there. Yo, what y'all, sleeping on me? Don't look so happy. Anything else?
Yeah, John, I want to say, when I came to McShin, I was like, I'm just gonna, sit back. I'm not gonna do anything. And then I was in a group, and someone in long-term recovery told me, it kind of gave me like a light bulb went off in my head, because that person was like, if you chase your recovery like you chase that drug, you will stay here.
Yeah.
Because it's, like you say, it's institutions, jail, death. And I think that if I chase this recovery like I was chasing my drug dealer, I can do this. I can do this. And so can anybody that's out there or anybody in this room.
The rule of thumb is put half the effort into your recovery that you did chasing drugs, you almost can't miss, But we put a lot of effort in getting drugs.
If you put all of your effort into your recovery,
then you can't lose.
Then you can't lose.
You'll be a winner.
It's inevitable.
I don't care how you cut
just
the
can't
mustard.
lose.
I agree.
This is dealing with the issue of powerlessness, that feeling of hopelessness. And I remember that feeling very well when I've lost everything and I didn't see no hope. I really thought that I didn't have another chance. And I know that for other addicts, suffering addicts out there, and even the nation and the community as a whole, probably right now you're probably feeling what I felt, which is powerlessness, not knowing what to do out of control. And within my recovery, I'm finding hope. I'm finding a solution to that feeling of being powerless. And I'm finding that, man, through the fellowship, through other people that are just like me, and also through my spiritual connection. And I can't even emphasize that when I'm dealing with fear, man, the only thing that works for me is faith.
Good job. Now, does anybody got anything they'd like to say? Well, you're welcome. Huh? We good? All right, look, y'all behave yourselves, social distancing. Let's show, everybody stand up, we'll show them how we do our foot hit. We want everybody to see this. I like to do the inside, the outside, and the toe bump. There you go. Let's get her done, man. Or you can just go around like this. Hey, did we remember that prayer we closed with yesterday? Let's show them how we close out the meeting too, so they'll know. But get a big space. Remember that one? You just cross your arms. God, grant us a serenity to accept things we cannot change, courage to change things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today. That. Work it. Believe that. You die if you don't.